Phoenix. It's their first win in Phoenix since the night after Thanksgiving in November of 2019. Just their second win this year when they don't score 100 points. The other game coming against Brooklyn back in early November. Phoenix, by the way, now 0-10 when they don't score 100 points. So that a terrific sign for the Mavericks tonight. Again, that they did it against Miami at home. They did it against Phoenix on the road. And now we'll see if they can take care of business in Salt Lake City on
drive Monty Williams nuts. It has to drive him up the wall. Listen, there's a laundry list of reasons you lose a game like this, but when it comes down to making critical plays at critical times, you get Bullock to miss the free throw, so you have an opportunity to tie the game, maybe even win it, and you can't get a defensive rebound off a missed free throw, and it wasn't like it was a crazy bounce that shot out long off the missed free throw. It was a regular carom off a missed free throw, and your 7-footer, and Torrey Craig was in there too. You got to secure the rebound to give your team an opportunity to tie or win the game. I mean, come on, fellas. Get the job done in that situation. All right, phone lines are open, 602-260-9870. I am quite positive a lot of you in the car have something to say about this game tonight. As the Suns fall back to the 500 mark, an opportunity to close out a perfect homestand, 5-0, an opportunity to keep that win streak alive at 5, all falls by the wayside tonight as the Dallas Mavericks, without Luka Doncic, Spencer Dinwiddie, the man, 36 points. Nobody shut him down on this night. Mavericks win it 99-95. We're taking the timeout. Suns postgame show. Just getting rolling. Your phone calls and more coming up after the break. Keep it here.
Suns postgame show with John Bloom. Brought to you by Budweiser Zero. If you're on the treadmill, on the trail, at the job site, walking the dog, open up the Arizona Sports app and listen live. Read breaking sports news, get podcasts, check in with the local teams and more. The Arizona Sports app is presented by Ready Services Plumbing and Air Conditioning.
Budweiser Zero, official partner of the Phoenix Suns and sponsors of the Suns postgame show on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Enjoy every game this season responsibly. If you drink, don't drive, decide to ride.
The next disaster is coming. The time to get ready is now. Make a plan. Choose meetup locations and keep a contact list. Build a kit with food and water. Don't forget your pets. Keep extra medicine on hand. Make copies of key documents and keep them somewhere safe. Stay informed, learn about local hazards, and sign up for alerts. Be ready. Learn more at americares.org/send-us-in.
With LifeWell, help is here to support our community with counseling, housing services, and addiction treatment. We focus on adults and young adults with financial need. Learn more at lifewell.us and join our team to make a difference in the lives of others. We are hiring counselors, nursing staff, psychiatrists, and more. Start a career of hope, health, and healing at lifewell.us. This message is sponsored by LifeWell and a Virginia G. Piper Charitable Trust COVID Response Grant.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
Hello.
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, NA member FDIC.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching a kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
John Bloom, Suns postgame show. Brought to you by Budweiser Zero.
Here's Ayton getting a feed underneath. He'll put up a right-hand hook that doesn't go. Rebound jam attempt no good by Craig. Ayton takes it to the rim and lays it in on the third try. That's the charm for the Suns, and D.A. with a double-double already in the first half. 10 points, 12 rebounds.
And DeAndre Ayton back after missing 3 games with that illness. 19 points, 20 rebounds, but it was the rebound he did not get, which was critical in the final 12 seconds of this game. Now, Ayton came out of the blocks in fantastic fashion. He had 6 points, 9 rebounds in the first 6 minutes of the game, as did the Suns. I mentioned it earlier. Chris Paul had 10 points in the first quarter, shot 4 for 6 from the field, knocked down both of his 3-point attempts. Chris Paul helping these Suns to a 9-point first quarter lead in the first 10 minutes of the game. But then Chris Paul went to the bench, and that's when it really got away from the Suns. Now, Luka was already out of the game. Luka left at the 8:32 mark. Okay, so the Suns built that lead. They were in complete control, but then when Paul went to the bench, the Suns offense absolutely went in the tank. Now they went to the bench, and it wasn't like they were getting poor looks. Josh Okogie came in, had a miserable night from the field. Okogie was 0 for 5 in the first half. He had open shots from inside the arc, outside the arc, couldn't knock anything down. Ish Wainwright couldn't make a shot. Mikal Bridges, obviously a starter, but he couldn't make a shot. Okogie, Ish, and Bridges were a combined 0 for 10 from the field in the first half. They were 3 for 17 as a team to begin the second quarter. So not only did the Mavericks end the first quarter on a 10-2 run with Paul on the bench to tie the game up at 32, they eventually took control of the game in the second quarter while the Suns were throwing up bricks. They outscored the Suns without Paul in the game 20-7. Paul came back in the game with 6:40 to play in the second quarter, but once Paul got back in there, rhythm had been lost and it could not be found again. And the Mavs led that game by 6 at the half. Third quarter, they played basically even. The Suns had that game within 4 late, and then Dinwiddie hit a 40-footer basically at the horn, to put them up by 7 after 3, and it was that kind of night as Dinwiddie had it going. And in the fourth quarter, I mentioned the Suns trying to get within 5. They get within 5.
But he missed the second, with Dwight Powell coming up with the huge offensive board.
Foul shot up, and no good. Rebound, batted around. Powell got the ball, got knocked to the ground by Ayton.
Dwight Powell just simply outworked DeAndre Ayton for that one. Ayton, a guy who grabbed 20 rebounds. He didn't get number 21 because Dwight Powell got fouled, and he calmly made both free throws to make it a 2-possession game with 9 seconds to go. And after Chris Paul missed a 3, the Mavericks were able to run out the clock and get themselves an improbable road victory tonight, winning it 99-95. What a win for that group. Much more to come in our post-game show tonight. We'll hear from Jason Kidd about the gutsy road victory. Plus, we'll check in on the other 5 games that took place in the NBA on this Thursday. We've got our play of the game highlight for you, plus a look ahead to Saturday when the Mavericks visit Utah. All that and more still to come here on the Dallas Mavericks Radio Network.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now, but I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every...
When you become a Walmart Plus member, every time you drive, you're saving money. Like driving to that yoga class you take every Monday. Okay, some Mondays. Or driving to brunch with friends.
On my way.
What? You haven't even showered yet. Or finally taking that road trip.
Paris, Texas, watch out!
With Walmart Plus, you save 10 cents a gallon at Exxon and Mobil stations. So every time you leave your house, you're saving. Fuel discount varies by location and station, subject to change.
Chlorinated water is for swimming, not drinking. Cities add chlorine to your water, causing dry skin and hair. This is JFC Harrison. I want to tell you about LifeSource Water Systems, the solution to your water woes. A LifeSource system filters your water from every tap, reducing the harsh effects of chlorine and giving you softer skin and hair. Without maintenance, no salt, no filters or servicing. Call 602-491-9661 for a free consultation or visit lifesourcewater.com. LifeSource, taste and feel the difference.
The friendship is sharing deal.
Because I want one of your McNuggets.
And I need some of your Quarter Pounder.
There's a deal for everyone at McDonald's. Get one favorite like 10-piece chicken McNuggets, a Quarter Pounder, or a Big Mac and get another for just $2. Price and participation may vary. Valid for item of equal or lesser value.
Dancing crew, trip for two, nailed the final interview. Game with Doug, brand new mug. Come here, kid, give me a hug. The more you want to do, the more we want to do. New COVID-19 boosters designed for recent Omicron variants are now available. Learn about eligibility and schedule a free updated booster today at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Hola, Ed Vance for Advance Auto Parts here. Welcome to Ed Talk Radio. Today's episode, why I love the Advance parking lot. Inside the store is awesome, obviously, but amazing things happen in the parking lot. Expert team members will test your battery there free. They'll install a DieHard battery there free. If you have a pesky check engine light on, they'll find out why free. Oh, and you can park there free. Thanks for listening to my Ed Talk.
This is how we advance.
A heck of a night in Phoenix.
Across the floor, right to left. Side left, over 8. Banks it in. It's been that kind of night for Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yeah, what a great night for Spencer Dinwiddie. He's even banking in three-pointers late in the desert. 36 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists, only 1 turnover while playing 40 minutes. Quite a night for Spencer Dinwiddie. Mavericks beat the Suns 99-95, and Dinwiddie is tonight's player of the game. All right, let's go to tonight's NBA scoreboard brought to you by Lexus. The Los Angeles Clippers, they remain a half game in front of the Mavericks in the standings. They win their 4th in a row. They blow out the Spurs 138-100. Paul George with 35 points to lead the way. Cavaliers beat the Rockets in Houston 113-95. Darius Garland had 26. Charlotte upends Chicago 111-96. Terry Rozier with 28. Detroit wins at Brooklyn 130-122 despite 40 points from Kyrie Irving. And in overtime, the Knicks beat the Celtics 120-117. Julius Randle had 37. Boston has now lost 3 consecutive games. The Mavericks end the Suns' 4-game winning streak tonight, winning at 99-95. We'll hear from Jason Kidd about the big victory coming up, but when we come back, we will have tonight's play of the game for you. You're on the Dallas Mavericks Radio Network.
This is Chuck Cooperstein. The lawyers at Frankel & Frankel have a history in DFW and throughout Texas of fighting against the big insurance companies to get you compensated if you're ever injured in a car or truck wreck with no out-of-pocket cost to you.
Online at truckwreck.com. Frankel & Frankel. Principal office, Dallas.
What if a mouse could change the world? If I could ride a runaway railway with Mickey and Minnie? What if there could be a huge party with all my Disneyland friends?
Come celebrate 100 years of Disney during a once-in-a-lifetime celebration at the Disneyland Resort starting January 27th. Both tickets and park reservations required. Visit Disneyland.com for important details.
Let it snow. Cash at Twin Arrows. Win your share of $36,000 on Saturdays in January. Hot seat drawings every hour from 7 p.m. till 10:59 p.m. for $50 in free play. At 11 p.m. and midnight, 4 winners have a chance at $2,000 cash. Let it snow. Cash only at Twin Arrows Casino Resort. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona or 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm Ryan Reynolds. As owner of Mint Mobile, I couldn't wait to make my first commercial for iHeart listeners. I thought, I'll tell them to go to mintmobile.com/iHeart to get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Then I thought, they'll never believe the owner bragging, so I'll bring on a real Mint customer who knows it's premium wireless for just $15 a month. Then I thought, how will they know it's not just me acting as a customer? Then I thought, what if they don't think I'm a good enough actor to play a customer? Then I cried and went to bed at the end.
New activation and upfront payment for 3-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Additional restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for full terms.
The Federal Reserve will not stop raising rates until it has inflation back down to around 2%. But has monetary and fiscal policy let a genie out of the bottle that can't be put back in? Inflation runs in waves. Just when the data indicates it's decreasing, it comes roaring back, and with it, the decline of your paper assets. Get protected now by calling veteran-owned Midas Gold Group 480-360-3000. Just like us, the vets at Midas Gold Group are America First Patriots.
3 feet away right before the third quarter horn sounds.
Into Dinwiddie. To his left against Biyombo for 3. He hits with 1.6 seconds left, and he brought rain with that one.
5 of 6 from behind the 3-point line tonight was Mr. Spencer Dinwiddie. Mavericks go on to beat the Suns 99-95, and that 33-footer late in the third. That is tonight's play of the game on the Dallas Mavericks Radio Network.
Rebounds, but like you were saying earlier, how they give him a lob instead of dunking the ball, he tries to hit it off the backboard and then he gets fouled and he misses his free throws. I remember Joel Embiid said yesterday after post game on his game that anybody that's trying to defend him, he looks to kill them. He literally looks to kill them for trying to try to defend him. I wish that's what DH's mentality is. Instead, he'd rather just fades away and does a jump shot.
I hear that hissing too. Maybe it's a cat.
No, dude. A sulfur-like odor and hissing can be signs of a natural gas leak. Natural gas lines can be buried anywhere. If you suspect a leak, leave immediately and call 911 and Southwest Gas.
Thanks, deep voice narrator.
You're welcome, dude. You too, buddy.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed, and a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund ×2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall. If you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
Confession, I'm a hopeless romantic, and I love a deal. I just went to Kohl's and earned Kohl's Cash, plus got an extra 15% off already great deals, like 60% off a necklace for my mom and 40% off PJs for my daughter. Not to mention, I found myself a fragrance set from Sephora at Kohl's for less than $50. With more gifts and more savings, what's not to love? Select styles. Offers end January 29th. Sephora coupons and Kohl's cash do not apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
John Bloom, Suns postgame show. Brought to you by Budweiser Zero.
Suns have it on offense. Ayton wasn't ready for a Paul pass. Get it in. Now back to Chris Paul. Out to Cam for three. Rattled it home from the right way. Cam Johnson brings the Suns back within 6. He's made 5 of 7 from deep on the night.
Disappointing night at Footprint Center. The Mavericks come in and basically play without Luka Doncic, and they win this game 99-95, ending the Suns 4-game winning streak. Phoenix falls to 25-25 on the year. Suns go on the road now. They face the San Antonio Spurs on Saturday night in San Antonio. Spencer Dinwiddie had 36 points to lead the way for the Dallas Mavericks. I'm Tim Ring, filling in for John Bloom. Good to have you along for the Suns postgame report on this night. Back out to the phone lines, 602-260-9870. Kevin is in his car leaving the game. Kevin, welcome in to the Suns.
Hey, John.
Report.
Everyone talking crap about Ayton. If they would have won, they'd be like, oh, my God, the 2020 game was amazing. So that's kind of irrelevant. But anyways, the pace of the game was kind of the dictator. We were more reactive than proactive on it. You saw those 5-3 that they hit in a row. They were using the whole shot clock down to the last, half second and drilling a 3 on us. So it became on our heels, and they were dictating how slow we were going instead of pushing the pace like the last 4 games. So I was at 3 of the last 4, including tonight. So it was kind of disappointing to see that. But, seeing play out of the starters was great. The bench was kind of disappointing in anyways, but, it is what it is. Everyone's a little disappointed on losses, but you got to take the bright side out of it.
Yeah, Kevin, listen, people are disappointed with DeAndre Ayton. And that's totally understandable, but that is not the only reason that the Suns came up on the losing end tonight. I talked about that earlier. There's a laundry list. You mentioned the bench. I mentioned the bench as well. There's the final numbers of the bench. Nobody contributed anything noteworthy tonight. And usually you get 1 to 3 guys that come up with relatively big nights that contribute to a win. That didn't happen at all. And then specifically at the end of the first quarter and in the second quarter, when the bench came in the game, and Monty Williams talked about it after the game, the entire offense went in the tank when Chris Paul and the starters started to go to the bench. And the Mavericks took control of that game, and they never gave up control of the game. So the bench completely let that thing slip away at that point. And the Suns could never quite get control. They never got kind of their rhythm and their mojo back. And that was really disappointing. And then what you were talking about, the Mavs hitting those 5 threes in the fourth quarter. Again, the lack of physicality defensively, I think, for the Suns tonight was big. I mean, nobody at one point said, you know what? And again, some of this goes on Mikal Bridges, right? The warden. I'm going to lock guys up, right? That was the nickname. At some point, I got Dinwiddie, and I'm going to lock him up. I mean, Dinwiddie did whatever he wanted tonight. Scored 36. And I will say this, and before we get to the next call, there's something to be said for these Mavericks players like Hardaway, Finney-Smith, Powell, and Dinwiddie getting to play a full game without Luka Doncic. And hear me out. When Doncic went out, these guys night after night after night have to stand around and watch Doncic dominate the ball, pound the dribble, pound the basketball, while they all get to their spot and stand around and watch him dribble. So when he leaves, it's almost invigorating for these guys. It's almost empowering. It's like fun. Hey, we get to actually play basketball tonight. We get to move around. We get to dribble. We get to play. And they get to play free and with some confidence and almost play like there's nothing to lose because nobody now expects them to win the game because they're an average basketball team with Doncic. And now that he's out, nobody expects them to win a game against a team like the Suns on the road. So guys like Dinwiddie are like, hey, we got nothing to lose. Let's let it fly. And if you played basketball before at any level, you know that when you have some skill and then you have that mindset of nothing to lose, and all of a sudden you get to handle the ball, you get to play a little point guard, you have the green light every time down the court. That's a fun way to play. And when you can play that way and you kind of get it going a little bit, you can be tough to stop. And that's what happened with Dinwiddie tonight. And he got it rolling, and the Suns could never stop him. And when a guy gets like that, that's when you have to get in his grill and you have to lock him up, and nobody did that for the Suns. Anthony and Goodyear, you're up.
Hey,
Anthony?
Tim, you just said everything I wanted to say, especially about Dinwiddie. Well, I was calling him Spencer Doncic tonight, or Luka Dinwiddie.
Yeah, that's right. No, you can say what you want to say. You can repeat it. Go ahead. You obviously got a great point.
I can't say exactly what I want to say about it, but yeah, there was no physicality, man. He was getting really good looks. Even Finney Smith, man. These guys, the 3-pointers they took, they were getting really wide open looks, and obviously they didn't make as many as they took, of course. But I also. Kogi just didn't have it tonight, and Monty stuck with him. And, I mean, we didn't get to see much of Washington Jr. We haven't. Saban Lee, streaky also. I mean, I guess you say that. And that's that. But with D.A., I remember that play you're talking about where he didn't dunk the ball. I screamed, sounded like I'm going through puberty because my voice cracked because I just couldn't believe it that I'm watching – Biyombo gets the ball down there, he bams it, shakes that rim. DA doesn't, and I hate that about DA. I hate to say hate, but that's the one thing I hate about DA. He can tear the roof off the building if he would bam that thing. I'm sorry, I'll let Monty get on the phone and do his interview. Let's hear what he had to say about it. I'm just talking crap. Thank you for taking my call, Tim.
All right, no, good stuff, Anthony. I know. All right, we've talked enough about DA. We've kind of hit on the bench. We have talked about the lack of production from that unit tonight. I think Monty was really disappointed with them. Obviously, with the Suns' inability to get anything from those guys early in the game, late in the game. The inability to secure that defensive rebound off a missed free throw. Now, look, it's unfortunate it even came to that with the Mavericks team playing without Luka Doncic. I remember that even with Luka, the Mavericks had lost 5 out of 6. The Suns had some good mojo coming into this game, and it's unfortunate that it kind of slipped away, especially with the 9-point lead there in the first quarter. All right, let's hit a timeout. When we come back, we will hear from Monty Williams on what he thought about where this game went wrong tonight and how the Suns came up on the wrong end of a 99-95 final against the Dallas Mavericks. Keep it
here. Suns Postgame Show with John Bloom, brought to you by Budweiser Zero. If you're on the treadmill, on the trail, at the job site, walking the dog, open up the Arizona Sports app and listen live. Read breaking sports news, get podcasts, check in with the local teams, and more. The Arizona Sports app is presented by Ready Services Plumbing and Air Conditioning.
For concern, fans shouldn't have to compromise enjoying their night of entertainment to the fullest. So, as an alcohol-free product full of real Budweiser taste, we have the unique opportunity to bring Budweiser's flavor, taste, and enjoyment to guests with zero compromise. Introducing Budweiser Zero, the crisp, refreshing taste you can expect from a beer without alcohol. Be 100% on your game with the new Budweiser Zero, official partner of the Phoenix Suns and sponsors of the Suns postgame show on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Enjoy every game this season responsibly. If you drink, don't drive, decide to ride.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed, and a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes, during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. I hate the struggle of tough, greasy messes on my stovetop. So I just wipe, and I'm done.
When I'm frustrated with stubborn bathtub soap scum, I just wipe, and I'm done.
Mr. Clean Clean Freak delivers an innovative cleaning experience with a powerful deep cleaning mist that starts working on contact to break down tough messes in seconds.
Just
wipe,
done.
At Total Wine & More, save big on what you love this month with hundreds of deals. Get up to 35% off over 100 different wines and spirits, including Cabernet, sparkling wine, single barrel bourbon, and so much more. These savings are huge, and even better, they're on top of prices that are already the lowest in town. Deals this good don't last long, so visit Total Wine & More to find yours. Love what you find at the lowest price, only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
Hello.
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching a kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. Divorce can be complicated, especially if children are involved. If you're a father and want to protect your role in your children's lives, remember Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men with matters like these for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Phoenix area attorneys. 6730 North Scottsdale Road, Suite 230, Scottsdale, Arizona, 85253. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. Online at CordellCordell.com.
At Total Wine & More, save big on what you love this month with hundreds of deals. Get up to 35% off over 100 different wines and spirits, including Cabernet, sparkling wine, single barrel bourbon, and so much more. These savings are huge, and even better, they're on top of prices that are already the lowest in town. Deals this good don't last long, so visit Total Wine & More to find yours. Love what you find at the lowest price, only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, B21.
John Bloom, Suns postgame show. Brought to you by Budweiser Zero.
Here come the Suns pushing the pace. Bridges in transition. Gets into the paint. Steps through and lays it up and in. He got the roll off the front iron. Mikal Bridges knocks it down to pull the Suns within 4, as close as they've been in a while now.
Well, the Suns could not get close enough. 99-95, the final. The Dallas Mavericks win it. Mavericks go to 26-24 on the year. Suns fall back to that 500 mark, 25-25. Was the Mavericks' first regular season win at Footprint in, well, almost 4 years. 2019 was the last time it happened. Of course, after what happened in Game 7 last year in the playoffs, stats and nuggets like that kind of ring a little hollow now, don't they? Monty Williams, after the game tonight, after the Suns fall again by 4 to Dallas.
It's situational awareness. And like I told the guys, every possession has to be important to us. I didn't think it was important tonight across the board. I thought our bench came in with very little awareness of the game plan. We made a few subs. I made a few subs, and the energy went, focus went. And then in that situation, it was not as important to us as it was to them to get the ball, period.
Or you mentioned obviously, possession awareness and the importance of that. Gordon Dinwiddie, I know you went to his own to try to slow it down, and how much do you think that was?
Well, I think it broke his rhythm a little bit. I mean, some of the shots he made were just unreal shots, but the zone, the hits, Like at some point, you got to sit down and put your chest on somebody and guard the ball. You know, we can't scheme the whole game. And I thought we were in schemes all night to try to stop him when he had it going. But they scored 99 points. I mean, that's below NBA averages. And so our lack of ability to convert when we did get stops wasn't at the best level tonight.
Just Aiden's performance overall, I know the numbers look great, but there were plays and
we didn't win the game. It was a tough night for everybody across the board. Yeah, he could have finished better around the basket, but by and large, we did not play to the best of our ability tonight, especially when I started to make subs. That was a dip in our focus and energy tonight, and that can't happen.
It's Monty Williams after the game, and you can hear it in his voice. He's frustrated. And Monty echoing a lot of the stuff that we talked about here tonight on the post-game show. There's, as I like to say, a laundry list of reasons why you lose a game like this tonight. And he did not specifically, go after DeAndre Ayton in this game. But Monty did talk about the bench, and I talked about it as well. The Suns were in control of this game in the first quarter, and I know the NBA's a long game, and just because you are leading a game by 9 in the first quarter does not mean diddly squat. I get that, but it was indicative of where this bench was at in this game tonight, mentally and physically. When they came into this game, they were not into it, and that played out early in the first quarter and played out for the entire rest of the game, because this bench contributed 11 points, and nobody played well off the bench. And the Suns starters needed help to win a game. They always need help to win a game. And it was not there tonight. The focus was not there. And you can hear from Monty Williams in his voice and what he was saying there. He was extremely disappointed at the way the supporting cast played in this game tonight. Extremely disappointed as the Suns fall by 4, 99-95 to the Dallas Mavericks. All right, we're taking a timeout. We come back. Hustle Award winner, Song of the Night, NBA scores, and we'll put a wrap on the Suns post-game show. Keep it here.
Suns post-game show with John Bloom, brought to you by Budweiser Zero. When you say Alexa, Siri, Google, play Arizona Sports. That's modern technology serving up Arizona's biggest sports personalities, along with breaking sports news and inside info you won't hear anywhere else.
Playing the 98.7 Arizona Sports live stream.
Hey, it's Vince Marotta, and if you're having your friends over for the big game in February and you want to make a splash, enter to win Spinato's Ultimate Big Game Catering Party giveaway. The package includes a 75-inch big screen smart TV from Best Deal in Town, a $500 Spinato's gift card, a Four Peaks Brewing Company sponsored Yeti cooler, State 48 merchandise and a $100 gift card, and a signed football hand-delivered by Cardinals cornerback Marco Wilson. For information and to enter, go to Spinato'sPizzeria.com. Spinato is celebrating family, friends, food, football, and Arizona.
Guys, fellas, men, are you Roman ready for Valentine's Day? Right now, generic Viagra, aka Sildenafil, is just $4 per dose at Roman. Just complete a free online visit with a U.S. licensed healthcare professional. If medication is appropriate, Roman sends everything right to your door with free shipping and in discreet packaging. Go to ro.co/Viagra to get generic Viagra for just $4 per dose. Do it by February 8th for 20% off and guaranteed shipping by Valentine's Day. That's ro.co/Viagra.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
John Bloom, Suns postgame show. Brought to you by Budweiser Zero.
Down low, Ayton posting up against Dinwiddie now on the left block. Doesn't look to shoot it. Back out to Paul. He's going to shoot a three and hit a three. CP3's 4 for 5 from deep tonight.
Yeah, it was a difficult night for the Hustle Award staff. They just came out of the conference room with their decision. They're going to go with Chris Paul, they tell me. 22 points on the night for Paul. Chris Paul had 10 assists, 4 for 7 from three-point range, 9 for 16 from the field. Paul was great early in the game. Again, in the first quarter, he had 10 points, knocked down a couple threes, helped the Suns get that 9-point lead, went to the bench, and then it all went to hell. He tried to bring the Suns back late at a couple of layups in the final minute to bring the Suns within one. The Suns fouled. They got Bullock to miss a free throw, and then they could not get the defensive rebound. Ouch. So the Suns' 5-game homestand comes to an end. They began the homestand with wins over Indiana, Brooklyn, Memphis, and Charlotte. A 4-game winning streak. They were hoping to make it 5 and complete the perfect 5-game homestand, but nope. So the winning streak ends tonight, and that leads us to the song of the night, Cody Fincher.
This is the end, beautiful friend. This is the end, my only friend, the end of our elaborate plans, the end.
Yes, indeed. The end of the winning streak. The somber tones of Jim Morrison and the Doors as we close out the post-game report tonight on a Thursday. NBA scoreboard. The Hornets over the Bulls, 111-96 the final. DeRozan had 28 for the Bulls. Terry Rozier had 28 in the win for the Hornets. That game was in Charlotte. The Pistons over the Nets tonight in Brooklyn. How about that? 131-22 the final. The Nets are coming back down to earth as they continue to play without KD. Kyrie had 40 in the loss. Sadiq Bey had 25 for the Pistons. Speaking of big wins, the Knicks on the road in Boston tonight get a win in overtime. Julius Randle had 37 to offset 35 by Jason Tatum. 120-117. The final, the Knicks over the Celtics again in overtime. The Cavaliers on the road in Houston get a win 113-95. Darius Garland had 26 for the Cavaliers. And the LA Clippers, no problem with the hapless Spurs, 138-100. The final at Staples. Paul George had 35 in the win for the Clippers. Once again, those Spurs will play host to the Phoenix Suns coming up on Saturday night as the Suns, with the win in that game, and it should be a win, mind you, will get back over the 500 mark at 26-25. So that is the next time we will see the Suns in action on the road Saturday night in San Antonio. So that'll do it for the Suns postgame report. Once again, the Suns fall to the Mavericks 99-95. Big night for Spencer Dinwiddie. He had 36 to lead the way to offset 22-point nights from Cam Johnson and Chris Paul. So for our engineer, Walt Ellis, and our man, Mr. Flawless, behind the glass, Cody Fincher, I'm Tim Ring. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Thursday night. Boy, it's late. 18 minutes left in your Thursday night. Enjoy your Friday, everybody. And we'll see you again for Suns Buckets coming up on Saturday night right here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
KMVP FM Phoenix, Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
This hour powered by FanDuel.
Eric,
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
You've been listening to Phoenix Suns basketball.
We now join ESPN Radio, already in progress.
Because all the things that you want to teach, he does better than everybody else.
Those quarterbacks, right? Bengals, Chiefs Sunday, Arrowhead, 6:30 Eastern, 7th time ever. Teams meet back-to-back conference championship. KC's won 11 of 12. The only loss to the Bengals. Bengals have won 10 straight coming in. Yes, it's Patrick Mahomes dealing with that high ankle sprain. Third quarterback to start 5 straight conference championship games. 0 of 18, though, as I mentioned earlier, in pass attempts against the Jags after the ankle injury when he went outside the pocket. Mahomes on if he can make a throw if needed on the run.
Obviously, I feel like I can still do a lot of things, but it's gonna. We'll see as we get closer and closer, and we'll see during the game. I mean, you can't fully do exactly what you're going to be in those moments in the game, but all I can do is prepare myself the best way possible, and then when we get in the game, you hope adrenaline kind of takes over, and you can make those throws when you need to.
Yeah, how about Joe Burrow, 3-0 in his career, head-to-head against Mahomes, 5 career playoff wins already, can become the second quarterback to reach 2 Super Bowls within his first 3 seasons. Zach Taylor is head coach on how he commands this Cincy locker room.
That's just respect. That's when guys lead by example, and guys know they have potential and they've shown the ability to reach that potential. And then when they speak, people are going to listen to them. And I think that's just a respect thing from the team of they appreciate the work that he puts in, and he doesn't speak all the time. And so when he does, there's a lot of value to it, and guys listen to it and respond to it the right way.
Now, how about Taylor, by the way, looking to join Joe Gibbs and Mike Tomlin as the only head coaches to reach 2 Super Bowls within their first 4 seasons as NFL head coach. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max talking title games in each respective league this morning. ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU, joined by Rob Ninkovich at 7 Eastern. Diana Rossini follows at 7:15, and Sal Palantonio at 8 Eastern. Coming up, the night on ice and the night's top sounds. That's next. You're listening to Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio.
Coming up Friday, Mr. Irrelevant is 1 win away. That's right, 1 win away from the Super Bowl. But will the Eagles turn his dreams into nightmares? You'll hear my answer on Friday. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Friday, 6 a.m. Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
More Sports Center all night. Next.
Burns and Gambo on your drive home. 98.7 FM, Arizona's sports station.
We start at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app.
We want L.
I said it's great to be a Georgia. Let's go, you guys. Let's go, Paul. 2 in a row.
Oh, thank God. Weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and the SEC network.
The all-new Pro Bowl games live from Las Vegas. Join Peyton and Eli Manning as they coach the league's best to glory in dodgeball, precision passing, and more in the skills showdown. Plus, for the first time ever, the AFC versus the NFC in flag football. The 2023 Pro Bowl games. Skills Showdown Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. And don't miss flag football and more skills Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and ABC.
You can't miss Canty and Carlin, pound for pound, the biggest show on ESPN Radio.
Mike McCarthy might be the only thing you can change in order to get a different result out of Dak Prescott. And for that reason alone, you might have to consider moving on from him. To me, Jerry Jones staying with McCarthy means that Jerry Jones cares more about who gets the credit than winning the championship.
Yeah, and that's true. Listen, it is a guy who was in tears after the loss.
Yeah, but how much does it really matter to you? Because those are crocodile tears to me if you don't make a move at your head coaching spot. You got an opportunity to upgrade. There is no comparison when we look at Sean Payton versus Mike McCarthy. Sean Payton is a better coach. Sean Payton is a better play designer, a better play caller. You know why I know it's not close? Because the Denver Broncos are bringing Sean Payton in for a second interview, and Sean Payton's asking for $20 million a year, and the New Orleans Saints are asking for a first-round pick plus in order to get Sean Payton's rights. You know what the Dallas Cowboys gave up for Mike McCarthy? Not a damn thing.
Canty and Carlin, weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio. You can also listen and watch on the ESPN app.
Headlines and hot takes, they have their place. But at our podcast, ESPN Daily, we don't just skim the surface of sports. Dude, I mean, this clearly transcends blood feuds, rivalries, sports. This is something far, far deeper than that. I'm your host, Pablo Torre, and every day we try to dive into the stories behind the athletes.
The picture of him in the dugout afterwards just looked like a guy who'd had his heart ripped out.
Listen to ESPN Daily wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming up Friday, championship weekend is here. So which two teams will advance to the Super Bowl? You'll hear my answer on Friday. Keyshawn, J. Willimax, 6 a.m. Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU. Friday on Fitz and Harry, it's championship weekend. We're going to pick winners, obviously.
And we disagree on what the Super Bowl matchup will be.
I'm always right. Fitz and Harry, Friday, noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and watch in the ESPN app.
This is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Here's Jim Basquill.
Yeah, we're back on SportsCenter all night with the latest from the land down under as the semifinals are stepping towards the finals at the Aussie Open. The men's third seed, Stefanos Tsitsipas, is 3 wins away from those finals. More on that match from our Matt Walsh.
Thanks, Jim. It's men's semi-final night tonight at the Australian Open with 9-time champion here Novak Djokovic in action later against America's Tommy Paul. Djokovic has been struggling with a hamstring injury throughout the tournament, but is a raging favourite to win both the matchup with Paul, the world number 35, and the championship overall. Paul is a surprise semi-finalist here in Melbourne, the first American man to make the Final Four at the Australian Open since Andy Roddick back in 2009. Tomorrow night, the women's final pits number 5 seed Aryna Sabalenka against reigning Wimbledon champion Elena Rybakina. Sabalenka has a 3-0 win-loss record against Rybakina, but the pair haven't met since the Kazakhs' breakthrough Wimbledon win last year. Expect a lot of firepower, a lot of aces, and cross-court forehand winners. Matt Walsh at the Australian Open for ESPN.
Yeah, what a run it's been for Tommy Paul, the American at the Aussie Open. The night's top sounds include plenty of hoops, college and pro. There's dunking, 3-balling, upsets, and down-to-the-wire finishes. Steve Lennox has the details.
Number 5.
Jim, Hornets at home in Charlotte Thursday night taking on the Chicago Bulls. LaMelo Ball hitting from downtown in the fourth quarter. Here's a call from WFMZ Radio.
LaMelo around the Plumlee screen. He's firing for 3. It's good. Rip it at cord. LaMelo Ball drilling another Lowe's 3-point shot. The Hornets first since the first quarter.
Number 4.
College basketball Pac-12 matchup. USC with the upset victory against number 8 UCLA. Always fun when the Bruins and Trojans get together. Doesn't matter the sport. Here's the call. 790 KABC.
USC needs to get the ball in bounds. They do to Sellers. Ozaya can hold it. The Trojans can celebrate. The horn sounds inside Galen. It's a signature win for the Trojans. 77-64 over their crosstown rivals, UCLA.
Number 3.
Pistons and Nets in Brooklyn. Jalen Duren for Detroit going with the throwdown in the fourth quarter. The call, 97.1. The ticket in Detroit.
53 seconds left. 125-120. Pistons have the lead. Ivy to Killian at midcourt. Killian gets it back. Shot clock's at 7. Bounce pass Duren. Dunks it down. What a dish from Killian Hayes from midcourt on a dime to Jalen Duren for a slam.
Number 2.
Knicks and Celtics on ESPN Radio Thursday night. Game ended up going to overtime. Celtics with an impressive run at the end of the fourth quarter, and Jason Tatum able to tie things up at 110. Mark Kestisher, PJ Carlissimo had the call right here on ESPN Radio.
50 seconds to go. Boston down 2 in possession. Tatum against Randall. Drives hard. Layup good. Tied at 110.
Like a streak of lightning, Jason Tatum to the basket. He's got 33. Yeah, Julius Randle and Quentin Grimes barking at each other. They thought it should have been a double team. It never came.
Number 1.
And in overtime, Knicks' R.J. Barrett coming up with a go-ahead bucket. It proved to be the game winner. Again, Cassidy, Mark Kestisher, and P.J. Carlissimo, the call here on ESPN Radio.
Barrett, right corner three. Yes, for the Knick lead right in front of the Boston bench. 28 seconds to go in overtime. Joe Mazzulla takes the timeout this time. How about Jalen Brunson on the right wing? Had the shot himself, made one more pass to R.J. Barrett in the right corner. R.J.'s had a tough night, but he just hit the biggest shot of the night for the Knicks.
How about more hoops for you from the NBA with Paul George and company having fun at the expense of the Spurs?
Jones from left to right. Just pass right wing. It is Johnson. Leave it. No, taken away. George takes away from Collins. Coast to coast. Oh, Paul George, the windmill. Showtime in L.A. 71-51. George showing out for the hometown fans. 21 first-half points for PG-13. And that finish was rated R.
AM 570 LA Sports. He finished with 35. Kawhi 27. Clippers extend their winning streak to 4. Rout the Spurs 138-100. Back to the colleges. Number 6 is a winner.
Henderson right. Double team briefly. Looking for Tabellis being fronted. Reverse out for Kriisa. Shot clock at 11. Kriisa takes the dribble down left side. Goes inside Tabellis. Pump fake. Shot up good over Jong for Zoo. Back-to-back buckets.
Yeah, he had 18 points, a dozen rebounds. Brian Jeffries from Learfield is Arizona, 6th ranked in the nation, 63-53 winners over Washington State. Keep it in the college ranks, this time with the ladies in a long-time rivalry in Knoxville.
2 minutes and 5 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. Edwards, jumper hits good. Aaliyah Edwards down with 25.
Yeah, she finished with 25. 5th-ranked UConn, 84-67 winners over Tennessee in a matchup of iconic women's basketball programs. Night on Ice included streaks, ended and extended in the same game.
Right side outlet, Braden Point. Spins to Kucherov at center. Back for Point. Across the blood, 2-on-1 right circle. Point holds.
You gotta shoot the rebound. Hedman. Score! Victor Hedman from the left circle! From the back of the net, from almost the goal line. Hallmark was, I think, laying on the ice somehow. The 2-on-1 didn't yield a shot, but Hedman picked the puck up and blasted it in. It's 3-2 Lightning with 6:41 left.
All right, Phil Esposito, he did shoot it. 970 WFLA Lightning Radio. Victor Hedman, your go-ahead tally with 6:31 to go. Lightning tied a team record, 11 straight home wins, besting the league best Bruins 3-2, matching their franchise record for consecutive home W's. Alex Ovechkin is 32nd of the season. Penguins outlast or should I say the Caps outlast the Penguins. That's a 3-2 final, and it comes in a shootout. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU. Rob Ninkovich joins the show at 7 Eastern. Dinah Rossini follows at 7:15, and Sal Palantonio at 8 Eastern. Coming up, more on the Knicks and Celtics going to OT. That's next. This is ESPN Radio.
Coming up Friday, the Eagles are 1 win away from the Super Bowls, but do people really think they're going to win it? Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Friday, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
The top headlines are next on SportsCenter All Night.
An online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Mondays, I help you get ready for the weekend. The biggest stories of the week, as only First Take can present them. We start at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app.
The Australian Open continues live from Melbourne. Catch Novak Djokovic pursuing his record 10th Australian Open title.
Djokovic still unconquered in Australian Open finals.
With one more Grand Slam win, he'll officially tie rival Rafael Nadal for most titles of all time. The Australian Open, the story starts here. Continues through January 29th on ESPN. Additional live coverage on ESPN+.
Coming up Friday, championship weekend is here. So which two teams will advance to the Super Bowl? You'll hear my answer on Friday. Keyshawn, J. Willimax, 6 a.m. Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
A 29-year-old Adolph Rupp learns the game straight from Naismith, ships off to Lexington, and builds a big blue dynasty. Decades of dominance that put Kentucky at the heart of hoops country.
The national champions, Kentucky Wildcats.
But this is a man as complicated as the nation that made him. A man who would soon feel the tide of change on the highest court of all. ESPN Films presents Southern Hoops, a history of SEC basketball. Premieres Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern on SEC Network.
Mike Greenberg.
The New York Jets are hiring former Broncos head coach Nathaniel Hackett as their offensive coordinator. We have Zach Wilson as our quarterback, one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the sport. Might be talked into coming and playing for us. The last time we had a Hall of Fame quarterback, his name was Joe Namath, 50 years ago. So this is an outstanding sign to me.
Greeny, weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app.
True story. In college basketball, statement games can make or break championship resumes.
This is not a final exam. This is a midterm.
First is a top 10 showdown between Texas and Tennessee.
This is about as good as it gets.
Then Kansas takes on Kentucky.
The two winningest programs in the history of the sport.
Experience Sonic Blockbuster. The SEC Big 12 Challenge presented by Continental Tire. Number 10, Texas. Number 4, Tennessee at 6 Eastern. Then number 9, Kansas, Kentucky. Saturday on ESPN.
The NFL playoffs continue to storm towards Super Bowl 57.
The 49ers are the NFL's juggernaut. No one can disagree with that. They haven't lost in 2.5 months.
Complete in-depth coverage of the NFL playoffs continues.
Because I can see against the world, and that's where we like to be. Can you say that he played phenomenal in the playoffs? Absolutely.
It all starts every morning at 6 Eastern with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. And it continues all day right here on ESPN Radio.
Note, the Knicks knock off the Celtics in Boston in overtime, 120-117. Julius Randle, 37 points in the win for the Knicks over the top team in the NBA. Jason Tatum, 35 points, 14 rebounds in the loss. Pistons beat the Nets in Brooklyn, 130-122, despite 40 points from Kyrie Irving. Nets fall to 2-6 without the injured Kevin Durant in the lineup. Cavaliers over the Rockets, 113-95. And the Mavericks, for the most part, without Luka Doncic, who was hurt in the first quarter, didn't return, beat the Suns 99-95. Spencer Dinwiddie, 36 points. Top 25 college basketball, number 1 Purdue wins at Michigan, 75-70. I'm Eddie Garcia.
The good news is it is now time to panic.
This is the Ben Maller Show.
You got to go through the denial, the anger, and then eventually,
Ben Maller.
you're going to accept it.
Ben Maller.
This is the only show in town.
And now, live from the TireRack.com studios of Fox Sports Radio, here he is, Ben Maller.
In a Carolina state of mind, welcome in the beginning of another edition of the Ben Maller Show.
Here's Jim Basquill.
Yeah, Luka goes down, but the Mavs pick up the slack, and we look ahead at another Burrow-Mahomes clash. Welcome to Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Plenty ahead, but we begin with another stellar tip here on ESPN Radio, talking about the Knicks and Celtics. Boston off to the quick start in this one, but the Knicks level things out.
Here's Tatum. Great spin. Baseline got by Grimes and flushed it with two hands. And Tibbs didn't like that defense from Quentin Grimes and calls for timeout.
Yeah, it's Jason Tatum with the throwdown. That's leveled the game at 73, but Julius Randle
Would have been a double team. It never came.
that tied the game at 110. Tatum had a chance to win it.
Boston, a chance.